Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing the new Toyota Highlander. Before we get into this video though, as always, if you're going to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a turbocharged 2.4 liter 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Power outputs are 265 horsepower and then 310 pound-feet of torque, with fuel economy being 21 around town and then 28 on the highway. Now, before I move forward with this review, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you guys can see you've got that divot there in the center, and by the way, I really like this darker green. And then popping down below, I've got the Highlander's signature headlight design, fog light down below, and then look at the chrome trim with the blacked out grille. And putting it all together, let me guys think about the front end design here on the Highlander, especially with this green. Now around the side here, our turning wheel setup is 235, 55, 20 in the front and over in the rear. And you guys can see with the wheels, you've got that silver. And then notice you've got unpainted fender flares with little splash guard. And we do have some more chrome trim there along the side. And then here is the full side profile with the Highlander. And then taking a look at the key fob, we have our lock and unlock function, opening for the hatch as well, and then you can see the Toyota logo there on the back. Now popping into the rear, just like most crossovers in this segment that have a third row, you have an okay amount of storage space behind the third row, but when you fold the third row down, that's where you get the real storage space. And then you can see below this, got a little bit more storage with the tools, obviously if you get stuck on the side of the road. We do have cup holders here for the third row passengers. Now you can fit people or adults back here rather from a headroom perspective, but you can see legroom back here is a little bit more on the cramped side of things. So that is the one downside with the third row on the Highlander. But again, that's every single crossover in this segment. And when you're all done, just press that button. You can also do the foot thing where you wave your foot underneath to lower it. Then pretty spunky looking taillight design here. You can see limited all-wheel drive down below and the rest of the badges as well. And then here's the rest of the rear with this Highlander. Let me know what you guys think about the looks. Now taking a look at the door panel here in the back, you guys can see we've got a sunshade here for the rear passengers. Wood trim that goes across. Look at the padding down below, and then you got more storage here at the bottom. And then taking a look at the seats, you can see perforated all down the center. Legroom back here is really good in the second row. We also have a little storage pocket. We got our own climate zone here in the back, a bunch of USBs, and it does have a cup holder armrest, which is a nice feature. And then headroom back here, it's good. Also, there's vents like right in your face. Now taking a look at the front door panel, soft touch here at the top, and you guys can see the wood trim, then all of the padding down below. All of our window controls here. We do have our mirror adjustment, and those mirrors do power fold in. We also have our memory seat function and blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. And then taking a look at the front seat, perforated all down the center portion. All of your adjustments there on the side. And then you got your heated steering wheel button here. Got that for the hatch. 360 camera, your auto stop start, and then nice padding here on the dash, and then at the top as well. But this, it's hard touch. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, you guys can see soft touch all around, and we do have practical controls like our adaptive cruise control, your lane keep assist, you got your volume voice command controls as well, and then your regular stocks here on the back. Now the new Highlander has this digital gauge cluster here, just like other new Toyota models. The coolest party trick is the drive mode select. It'll show a Highlander kind of zooming on through depending on the drive mode that you put it in, which I think is pretty cool. And then this does come with a 360 camera system. We got trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and resolution with the camera system's pretty solid. It does fill in underneath the vehicle too when you move. And let me see if I can get it to, yeah, you guys can see it kind of starts to fill in a little bit. So that's another nice feature. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, you've got the shortcut bar here on the side. Responds quickly. It's got an analog volume control, and then you have analog controls for the climate system, and this does also come with heated and cooled seats, so I think this overall setup's pretty good. Wireless phone charging pad right there, and then you guys can see the USB ports down below, and then a little 12-volt right there. Shifter for the 8-speed automatic transmission. Got some cup holders here with more of that like gloss wood trim. Hill descent control here with our snow mode, stability control, auto hold, and then your parking brake. And then our drive mode select in this area, nice pushing for normal if you're doing that side, but you also have normal in the center there, so interesting. And then interesting how the center console opens up in the Highlander, at least I think it's interesting. And then we do have some storage at the top of the dash, and then also in the glove box, so it's pretty large. I like that trim, that's kind of nice. And then we do have controls here for sunroof, regular sunroof by the way. Now here is the window sticker. This particular Highlander is a limited, so pretty much everything's standard. But anyways, total MSRP after everything, $50,210. Let's see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood, both the mirrors, do a blind spot monitoring. These are the rest of the rear, and let's set off. Okay, so setting off in the Highlander, and I've been living with this for the week, and yeah, there's some good things and some bad things like most vehicles, or I should say positives and negatives, right? So first off, I think the seats are pretty dang comfortable in the Highlander. I like the fact you do have heated and cooled function. I think it's always nice to have. We're in the time of the year here in Utah where the temperature fluctuates quite a bit. You know, like it'll get down to in the 30s certain times, and then it'll jump up to like almost 70 degrees. So it's nice to be able to use both of those in the same week, believe it or not. And then when it comes to this new turbocharged engine, definitely feels torquier than the V6. And you know, I like it. I'm not sure if I fully like it more than the V6, but the previous gen, you know, engine, but I think overall it's pretty good. I will say though, I feel like this engine is, you know, at its limit in terms of the size of vehicle it is in. I think that, and this is just my opinion, I think that if Toyota wants to put this engine in stuff like the Highlander, they need to do the hybrid only. I know some of you might not want the hybrid, I understand that, but from a power perspective, you know, again, it feels like it's straining a little bit. But aside from that, it's a great daily driver. Like I said, it's comfortable. I mean, it gets decent fuel economy. You can see I'm averaging the low 20s is what I've been getting. So yeah, I mean, it's not like the most economical ever, but it's, yeah, I mean, it's pretty good for a bigger 3-row SUV. And so I guess some of you might want me to talk about Grand Highlander. And really what it comes down to is the size of the people you're going to be putting into the 3rd row. That's it. If you're, you know, basically going to have the 3rd row for kids all the time, this will probably be sufficient. But if you have bigger kids, or if you're gonna have adults in the 3rd row, then yeah, you probably want to jump up to the Grand Highlander. And then if you want more power, right, you can get the Grand Highlander with the, you know, with iForce Max hybrid, I think is what they'll call it. But you know, this engine paired to a hybrid system that is definitely a lot beefier, I guess, with the power compared to just this engine by itself. And again, it's not bad. It's just yeah, it's at the limit for the size of vehicle. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about the Highlander. Let me know what you guys think about this green as well. And let me know if you think that if this is the Highlander to get, if this is the 3-row Toyota to get, or if you'd rather go for the bigger Grand Highlander at this point.